inspiration for making this film? Is that
100%.
We can totally ascertain the opportunity cost of not having made the film. It's very high.
It's very high. Exactly. We encourage all aspiring filmmakers to study economics. I don't know. For me, I mean, we both studied economics. For me, I never thought filmmaking could be my job. It was a hobby. You know, it was an obsessive hobby since I was young. But there are no artists in my family. My family's scientists and lawyers and doctors. And so it wasn't necessarily an obvious career path to pursue the arts, but it was an obsessive hobby. And Brit and I met at Georgetown, and we were studying economics, but we were making lots of short films in our spare time. And when I graduated, I started working at National Geographic, and I started doing a lot of documentaries. And Brit and I worked on many documentaries. And about 2 years ago, we were like, okay, let's make a fiction film. Let's make a fiction feature film, and let's just do it. We have enough experience. We know how we can do it without permission. We have a camera. We know how to shoot. We'll write a story that she will act in. I will direct. We'll go back to my mom's house in Connecticut, so we get free locations and free food. And so we wrote this project, and then we were fortunate enough to meet these producers from Artists Public Domain, which is this non-for-profit that helps young artists make their first movies.
Did they have a film school at Georgetown? I don't even know.
No, there was really just like an art hallway where there were like 3 art classrooms. And one was a dark room, one was a sculpture room, and one was a painting room.
That's right.
And it was not really a school, I mean, for the arts, but I think that was also a real gift for us because we got very lucky in that we were going into college in the time where Final Cut Pro was coming out, and the first like prosumer cameras where you could make a camera, you could make a movie on a camera like that, and it could hold up on a big screen. And I think we were very fortunate to like happen to be, you know, coming of age in a time where the technology was making it possible to just pick up a camera and make a movie, which is something that Mike really taught me, that like to just begin. And I don't know. Sometimes I wonder what it would have been like if we had
gone to film school or art.
Or have been a part of a different generation.
Right, yeah.
That would have, well, also the economics, I think, will do you stand you in good stead, because that's where so many filmmakers again get in trouble with the
True.
and know how to go after the financing.
Right.
I also think it's useful to have like a broader liberal arts education because that is the sort of substance you're drawing from. I think having studied philosophy or studying physics or studying literature, any of these things, all these things work their way into the work you're going to make. I don't know. Some of my friends went to drama school, and when I was doing a lot of theater in high school, and a lot of my friends went to drama school, and I always felt like I needed to know more about just being a human being and all the ideas that were out there, and then you bring that to your work as an actor or a writer or a director.
Speaking of writing, when you two were writing the role of Rhoda, was there a special challenge knowing that you're also going to be performing the role?
Yeah, the challenge is that like you want to make yourself really nervous that you can't pull it off. And if you're like at any point feeling too comfortable, then you know you're not doing a very good job. And I'm sure it's probably the same for Mike as a director. You want to feel like you're biting off a lot more than you can chew. I think that's the only time you ever really grow. It's like everybody used to run a mile in over 4 minutes, and nobody thought you could break a 4-minute mile. And then like one day someone did it, and then suddenly the next day everybody could do it. It's just about a mentality shift. Like suddenly people thought, oh, it is possible to break a 4-minute mile. And I think the same is true of acting. I think you always want to be like pushing yourself to stretch beyond what you thought you could do. So it's good to try to write stuff that's outside of your own experience, very far outside of your own experience.
Did you have somebody in mind for the Burroughs character as you were writing that role?
No, like an actor in mind? Not necessarily, no. We were trying to just dig into who this character was as a person, and it was challenging finding an actor to play him, and we had this great casting director, James Clary and Paul Davis, and they were presenting a lot of different male leads, and no one was exactly right, and so I decided to just start making the movie without casting the lead. And so we shot all the scenes, because I felt like we had to keep going, right? And so we shot the scenes with Brit and her family, or Rhoda and her family, and Rhoda in the school with the janitor. And we shot a lot of the movie without a male cast. And I kept seeing more and more guys. And it was over the summer that they said, have you ever thought of William Mayfather? And I loved his work in the bedroom. He has such an incredible performance, such a fully realized character. And he had the exact right qualities for John, which is this sensitivity, this intelligence, this ability. He had to be a musical composer. He also had to have an intensity on screen. And the roles that he's typically done have been sort of fear and viewing and the characters around him. He's like kind of plays scary guys, you know? All scary guys. And I thought that was wonderful, because here we can create this very tense, dynamic relationship, because he comes to the screen with that energy, and yet underneath it, there's this warmth and this lightness. And if we, like, through their exchange and the blossoming of their relationship, we could take piece by piece of that exterior shell away and reveal this interior, it would be magical, and yet it would still be volatile and dangerous. And so then we sent him the script, he read it, and he called me and we talked for 2 hours, and he drilled me on everything on the script and asked me how I would do this, how I'd do that, and at the end he was like, all right, I'm in. And then I was like, William, we don't have any money.
Guess what?
And he's like, that's cool.
Well, he's already invested 2 hours in that.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, it's too late to pull back.
There was something in some notes about the jail sequence that you all had to do this in an unusual way, that you couldn't get permission. Or...
Yeah, we had to do the release from prison shot. When Rhoda leaves prison, we couldn't afford to shoot at a prison, or even like afford to buy like barbed wire to like dress up like, you know, some empty lot at the prison. It was just like there's no money. And so we drove around Connecticut until we found a prison that we could get close enough to the front entrance of with the car, and Mike parked across the street and rolled down the driver's side window and left the key in the ignition. And